Hi, my name's Chris Nelson. I own and operate Mountain View Childcare in northern Vermont. I care for 10 children between the ages of birth and 12. This is my almost 30th year as a licensed provider.
My name is Shay Jackson. I own and operate Modern Early Learning Academy in Winston-Salem. I care for ages birth through 5 years of age. This is my second year as a licensed provider. As family childcare professionals, we learned that we had so much in common, even though we came from very different states. As we worked together, we thought about the importance of having specific principles for family childcare to inform all the work that is done in licensing. So we came up with principles from our perspectives as family childcare professionals to help inform states. These principles apply to what we think about as the whole life cycle of licensing, not just what the licensing rules say for a state, they also apply to the implementation. We have 6 of them to share.
We are family childcare professionals because of the children and families we serve and the settings in which we choose to deliver those services. The licensing standards that we value most are specifically connected to the needs of the children, their development, their health, and their safety. Our first principle speaks to this value. We propose that the standards created by licensing are directly linked to supporting child development, health, and safety. Family child care providers do talk to each other, so we hear when licensing is not being interpreted the same way by the licensing representatives. This led us to consider the importance of states in sharing their expectations with family child care professionals when the standards are drafted, to ensure that they're written clearly. We also think that states should be upfront about the supports that they will provide and what happens if their expectations cannot be met. We value consistency between licensing because it is not helpful if one licensing representative interprets standards differently from another. As you'll see in our specific recommendations, we have a lot of ideas on how states can ensure that expectations are both clear and consistent and how those standards are communicated to us. Therefore, in Principle 3, we recommend that the state is consistent and clear about both articulating and implementing the standards themselves, how they're applied, what's expected, and how implementation is supported, and the timelines and consequences if compliance cannot be achieved.
Our 4th principle is state-supported supports, such as resources, technical assistance, professional development, and referrals are provided by the state to assist providers in meeting licensing expectations. Each of us who has been part of the work group so values the expertise and knowledge behind the state's role in licensing. We see the state providing different types of supports, such as resources in multiple languages, videos, coaches, professional development, and referrals. And sometimes they might include financial resources too. But the most important part here is that states include this concept of support as a licensing principle and work on a plan that can be shared with family childcare professionals about what supports are provided.
Principles 5 and 6 relate to the engagement of family child care providers in forming a collaborative relationship formed with licensing in it to advance standard compliance. Specifically, number 5 recommends that family child care providers are recognized as experts, are actively engaged, and play an integral role in standard development, implementation, and revision. They are valued partners in all parts of the life cycle for licensing. Number 6 envisions a partnership where there's a shared mutual understanding of the role of the state and providers, with each respecting and supporting each other's role in the childcare system. In such a partnership, the licensing agency and its staff seeks to facilitate sound understanding and implementation of licensing standards. Providers respect and value the role of licensing. Licensing is integral to advancing the professionalism of family childcare and recognize their contribution to the vital work in the field of early care and education. Licensing plays a fundamental role in advancing child health, safety, and development. And finally, where child care providers and the state both value and work in a mutually respectful partnership with the understanding that the provision of family child care is an essential, critical component to the state's child care system.
Sometimes family child care professionals feel like stepchildren in the field. Attention to engaging us in developing, implementing, and revising licensing can be a bit of an afterthought. We are seeking to be recognized as experts who are excellent and active partners with states. We have a genuine commitment to licensing as a baseline for our work. I have felt so lifted up by the expertise in our multi-state work group, and I know this expertise exists all throughout the United States.
Licensing can best do its work to support children, families, and family child care when everyone who's involved in the work understands each other's roles and responsibilities. As family child care professionals, we value what the state is doing with licensing, but we see that developing and ensuring this mutual respect and partnership and understand the roles and responsibilities is a key element that should be at the baseline of licensing. To get there takes some work, so that's why we've developed these principles.